Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Tobi Achudume and you are welcome to day 15 of Vlogmas. Yay! So, if this is your first time here, thank you so much for coming. I hope that you enjoyed this video as much as you have enjoyed the other ones. If this is your first time of seeing me, please do not make it your last. Wow! Please do not make it your last by clicking the subscribe button so you get part of this family, and hit the notification bell so that you get notified when we have new videos up. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for sticking with me. Thank you for coming again. I hope that you enjoyed this video as much as you've enjoyed the other ones. Please share this video with your friends and family, and also give this video a thumbs up because I know you would enjoy it. Today we are going to be talking about my favorite reads this year. Disclaimer, I did not read a lot of books this year, but I did read some really good books and I was able to keep up with my goal for the year as well. So I did not fall short. I was able to read just on the mark. Actually, I'm on the last one and I hope that I finish it before the year ends. But I'm going to share with you some of my favorite books so far that I have read this year. Some of them would be strange and then some of them you would just expect that I have read them. Yeah. So occasionally I'm going to be looking down because I have the books written down in a list and I don't want to say the names wrong or the author of the book wrong. So the first book I read, and this one I read it 2 times and there is even a backstory to it. So it is called Fervent, A Woman's Battle Plan for Serious, Specific and Strategic Prayers by Priscilla Shirer. So it comes from the creators of War Room, the movie. And I read it twice because it was that good. So it was one of those books that probably made it difficult for me to get to more books because I just kept going back on it. So it's one of those books that when I read and I want to pick it back up, I go back to the previous chapter so that I am still in line with what I am reading. Weird, strange, but I do it. So this book was written by Priscilla Shirer and it's more like a guide or a plan, like a book of strategies that you use when you're praying against the strategies of the enemy. So you know how you go through different obstacles, challenges, just literally life happening, life being life. And then there are just certain situations that the enemy wants to turn around and use that to sit on your head. Permit me to use it in that language. And then so it just gives you like different scenarios on how you should turn those kind of moments as strategies yourself and fight back. And so one time I was reading this book and I was on the train. Where was I going? I was going somewhere on the train. And I was reading the book and I was so engrossed in this book that I missed my stop. I did not just miss my stop. I followed the train. I followed the train up until the trains, where the train stopped, and then the driver had to drive the train back out for me to get out. That was how it was. But the book was so good because you just see different strategies. For example, like there is the part where she talks about when the enemy is trying to use the hurt and the pain or disappointments that you've gone through to become a weapon and stop you from praying. And then how you can turn that around and use that same weapon to fight the enemy back. Or when he tries to use your friendships or your relationships against you, and then how you can turn that back around as well. So it's basically a plan and it's very good to help your prayer life. I would say for free that it helped me with my prayer life this year. And so yeah, it is a very good book and it's written by Priscilla Shirer. So I'm not sure if I pronounced her name right, but the book is such a good read. So they're different strategies, there are different weapons of the enemy and then weapons of our warfare that she just talks about, and how you can use our warfare to fight the weapons of the enemy. Yeah, that's it. Number 2, When Women Pray. When Women Pray by T.D. Jakes. Bishop T.D. Jakes has to be is one of those preachers, male preachers, that just has a blessed ministry for women. He just knows how to talk to women. That's it. So this book, it talks about different women in the Bible. So it's biblical, it's obviously based on the Bible. So it talks about different women in the Bible that used prayer as their weapon. So use prayer as their strategies. So one of the ones he talked about was Hannah praying and then seeing the results. So basically it was just talking about how when women pray, you see the results of the prayer. So you just don't pray in vain. You may not see the results at the point when you want to see it. You may not see the results immediately, but you are going to see the results. So he talks about different women in the Bible that used prayer. He talked about Deborah, Hannah, Sarah, just different people, different examples that are just flying off my head right now. Different examples of women in the Bible that prayed and then saw results. He also gave example of his mother, his wife, and his mother-in-law as well. So it's such a good book because it's very relatable. It helps you to relate with the biblical characters that you read about and how their life is actually livable in this season that we are in. So you can see and draw lessons and draw weapons and draw basically just draw weapons from what you see in the Bible and not just see it as something that happened over 2,000 years ago, but as things that you can use, tools and weapons that you can use even in 2021 or in 2022. Number 3, The Pursuit of Portia by Porsha Williams. So Porsha Williams is a reality TV star in the US. So it was kind of a strange read for me. I got the email to do a review on the book sometime in the last quarter of the year, and I was like, oh yeah, sure, I could definitely do that. So I read the book and I was amazed at it because it's one of those books that I did not expect was going to have such depth that it had, but then it was good. So in the book, she talks about how she was depressed from a very young age and how she has come out of it. She just opens up. So parts of her that you don't get to see or is painted in ways that are not exactly true on reality TV. She kind of talks about it, how she came out of depression, how she felt like she was abandoned and not loved by her parents, all of the struggles that she went through, being in communication with her sister, and how she was able to overcome all of those things and still come out being one of the most watched reality TV stars, and how she has been able to come out with different businesses and opportunities even from just being on reality TV. Yeah, so that was also a good read. It was kind of easy for me because it was not very tense. It was not tense, it was relaxing, and yeah, it was a fun read for me. Number 4 is Perfectly You. So I'm sure I have talked about this book every month this year. And it's because for me, that book, when I saw the book looked like it was one of those books that looked very bright and colorful and just looked very fun. So I got the book, I think I got the book like 2 years ago now. I got it I think I got the book in 2019, and I got the book because I was trying to get back to reading fiction. No, not fiction. I was trying to get back to reading literary books. So not just books on personal development and spirituality and all of that. I wanted to kind of go back to reading easy books like that. And so I saw the book and I was like, yeah, this should be fun. So I got it and it was fun and much more. So the book is written by Marianna Atencio, and she is Latin American, but now American. So she's Latin American in America. And the book talks about how she was able to maintain, actually not able to, she kind of worked in it, struggled with it, and maintain being herself even in the world where being yourself is not very much celebrated. But she talks about how she was able to do that and how she was able to maintain that and be known and seen even in that light. So you know that she's different, but you also know that she knows what she's talking about. So you see that she's different, but you also know that she's comfortable being herself and walking in the shoes that she knows are for her. So in summary, the book talks about being authentically you, being comfortable with being yourself, and learning when you need to learn and improving when you need to improve so that you're a better version of yourself. Okay, so number 5 is The Man God Has for You by Stefan Labossiere. I hope I pronounced that right. So it's a relationship book, but it's also a relationship book that's based on principles of godly principles from the Bible and all of that. So it basically just talks about you knowing your worth, yourself, before you're expecting other people to accept you and your worth or yourself. Yeah. So it's a book written for women to help women to understand and know and accept that you are a blessing to the man that you end up marrying, to the man that God has destined for you to be with. You're a blessing to the person, and the person should be able to see your worth and appreciate you as the blessing that you are. But for the man to see your blessing and appreciate your blessing or the gift that you are, it has to be a man that puts God first. So it has to be a man that has a relationship with God, and not relationship with God that we talk about as fancy, but a relationship and a commitment to God and doing life the way God wants it to be done. So as a woman, oh my God, my light is going bad. So as a woman, you have to be able to tell who deserves your blessing, who deserves you as the blessing, and who is the best fit that God has created for you. So you may not just see it written on their face and say, this is the man that God has for me, but you're able to tell if you yourself have a right, good standing with God, in your relationship with God, your work is right, and you're committed to doing life the way God wants it to be done as well. So Pastor Mildred said something on Instagram some time ago, and I do not remember exactly how she said it, but in my head, this is how I remember it. Good people make good marriage. So if you want a good marriage, you being good by yourself is not what's going to make your marriage good. It has to be you being good and your partner being good, the two of you being good people, and then you make a good marriage. I'm going to link Pastor Mildred's message in the description bar so that you can hear it the way she said it, because I'm sure I trashed it. So the next book I'm going to talk about is Stolen Intimacy by my mother, Priscilla Achudume. And so this book I read twice. The first time I read because I was on the productions team, and then the second time I read because I wanted to do a review on it. So this book is a book on marriage, relationship, and again, doing it the way God wants it. Now you know that anything about me, I'm going to be working towards doing it the way God wants it to be done, because it is easier to do it in the other way than it is to do it the way that God wants it to be done. Yes, so this book talks about doing marriage the way it is supposed to be done according to what God says it is, because we know that marriage was created and destined by God, and so there is a way that He wants it to be done. So it talks about all of the aspects of marriage. So it talks about the part where you have to love, where you are in love with your partner, the part where you have to now choose to continuously be in love with your partner every day. It talks about choosing to forgive, giving each other grace, caring for each other even when you don't feel like, communicating with each other, and all of that. So it just talks about all of the different aspects of marriage and making sure that you work towards the marriage that you want to see. So good marriages they don't just happen. You work towards having good marriages. And so yeah, that's what the book is about. And if you do this the way it is supposed to be done, then you get to enjoy the blessing that marriage is. So aside from the fact that you now become two people becoming one, there are blessings that are attached to it that you enjoy because you're doing it the way that it is supposed to be done. So my read this year was not towards just one direction. It was kind of all over the place. I had relationship books, I had spiritual development books, I had personal development books, I had business books as well. My present read now, which I hope that I finished by the end of this year, is The Nuclear Effect. I started reading this book earlier this month, actually. No, I started reading the book at the end of November towards December. Yeah, so like the last few days in November and into December, I started reading the book. And so far, the book is so interesting, but it is one of those books that I can't just read on the go. Like, you have to be settled and make sure that you are gaining the knowledge that is in the book when you're reading it. And so that is what I'm reading now. That's my 7th one. It's so amazing. It talks about how you can grow your digital business, because I have a digital business by the side. I think I have talked about this in my taking stock video, the fact that I was able to put in time and effort into my side business and make it profitable this year. And so yeah, that is one of the reasons why I am actually reading this book now, because 2022 we are taking it by storm. Yes. Anyway, so these are some of my favorite reads. There are some that did not make it here because I did not want this video to be too long. It's Vlogmas and I'm not trying to just bore you and talk at you, but we're trying to have fun. So let me know in the comment section if you have any reads that you would like to share, anything that you want to suggest that I read next year. Please let me know in the comment section. Also, let me know if you enjoyed this video. Do not forget to subscribe, hit the notification bell so you get notified when we have new videos up. Share with your friends and family, and give this video a thumbs up. Thank you so much for joining me on day 15 of Vlogmas. I hope that you enjoyed it, and I will see you tomorrow.